Hey again, it's Mr. Lum, and we're going to do some more Math 9, and we're going to be talking more about exponents. And we're going to be talking about another exponent law, or kind of like a trick that you can do to help you solve some of these questions right here. So we have an exponent product rule, and that tells us when multiplying two powers that have the same base, this is very important, you can add the exponent. So we're going to look at why is that true, and we're going to see how a quick little trick that we can do. So first off, we're going to take this question right here. We have 3 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 5. So 3 to the power of 3, we know that this, from our previous lessons, means 3 times 3 times 3. Okay? And we know that this, 3 to the power of 5, means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, so we have 5 times. Now, if these are multiplied together, we can write a little times together right there. So if I read this from front to the back there, it'd be 3 times 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 3. So lots of threes. And in other words, it would just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 threes multiplied together. Or in other words, we could just simply write 3 to the power of 8. Okay? And that'd be a simpler way to write it. So whenever you have the same base, you can just think of it this way, or instead of just counting all of these threes out, you can just simply add 3 plus 5, and that equals 8. And that's what we usually do as a kind of a quick little trick to save us some time. So 3 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 5, we can just add the exponents up when we are multiplying, and that'll be 3 to the power of 8. So for this next one right here, we have 5 to the 7 divided by 5 to the 3. And I'm going to rewrite 5 to the 7. So 5 times 5, 7 times. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And we have that divided by 5 to the power of 3. Or no, there's 5 times 5 times 5. Now, when one number is on the top and a number is on the bottom, they can kind of cancel out. Kind of like if we just had 5 over 5, that'll kind of cancel out. Those will cancel out, and this will just simply equal 1. And just like if we had 5 times 5 over 5, these will cancel out, and this will just equal 5. We know that's true because 5 times 5 is simply 25, and if we take 25 divided by 5, well, that'll equal just 5. Okay, so that's why that one's true. So we know that, so what we can do is we can just cancel some of these things out. So we have these 5 cancel out, and these ones cancel out, and this one cancels out right here. And so what we have is now we just have 5 to the power, and we have 4 of them, so it's just going to be 5 to the power of 4, since there's only 4 left right here. Now I did it a very, very long way, but the easier way is you just go 7, and then this 7 minus 3, and that'll equal 4. So what this rule says, what this quotient rule concerning exponents says, when dividing two powers that have the same base, you can subtract the exponents, and that's exactly what we did. We have the exponents here of 7 and 3, and we just subtracted them. So 7 minus 3, and that equals 4. Now, this saves a ton of time, and it makes doing some math a little bit easier. Now I'm going to show you some things that some people get confused on. So say if we have another question, say we have 2 to the power of 3, and that's going to be plus 2 to the power of 2. Okay? If I give a question out like this, which I often do on a quiz or a test, some people will try to write this in a simpler form, and they'll go 2 to the power of 5. Okay, well, we can't do that because this rule right here says that this trick only works when multiplying two powers. So when you're multiplying two powers, and this is not multiplying, that is adding. Okay, so that is a common thing that people will kind of mess up on, and they get questions wrong. Another thing that some people will get messed up on is they'll have 2 to the power of 3, and they'll be times, so that's good. We want something that's being multiplied. And they'll have something like 3 to the power of 4 right here. Okay, and they'll try multiplying the bases together, and then they'll add the exponents. So they'll do something like multiply the bases. This will be 6, and then they'll add this one, and then they'll say, hey, that's 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. Well, we can't do that. Okay, this does not work. So we can only use this exponent rule in some very specific cases. One specific case is the powers need to be multiplying or dividing, and it is very, very important that we have the exact same base. Okay, so the base must be the same. And here we do not have the same base. So I just kind of wrote that in for our notes. Now here's some practice that you can try. Okay, so you can put it on pause again and try that. But we're going to go over the answers really quickly. So here we have -4 to the power of 3. So we're going to keep the base the same. And so we keep the base the same. We go -4. And this is covered in brackets. So we're going to keep it covered in brackets right there. And we have 3 times 6. And so when we have a times, it's like we just add the exponents. So 3 plus 6. And that's just going to be 9. Same thing for this one. Keep the base the same. We have 5 times, 2 to the 5 times 2 to the 7. Since it's times, we're just going to add the exponents. So 5 plus 7, and that's going to be 12. Okay. Now we have some divides right here. So same base, 7, and we just go 7 minus 3, and that is going to be 4. Okay, and this is way quicker than writing it all out this way. Now we have another one right here, so we have 5 to the power of 5 divided by 5 to the power of 8. Now this was a little tricky because a lot of people want to say 5 to the power of 3, but we have to be very, very kind of aware of which number comes first. So this is going to be, remember, 5 minus 8, and that does not equal 3, it equals -3. So when it equals -3, that's what you write right here. You write -3 right there. Okay, this would be 5 to the power of -3. Now, what is 5 to the power of -3? Well, what we can simply do is we can just write 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. So we have 5 5s right there. And then on the bottom, we're going to write 8 5s. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have these 8 5s on the bottom. And we could, just like before in the previous slide, we're going to cancel some of these things out. And we're left with 3 left over. But they're on the bottom. So this is going to be like 1 over 5 to the power of 3. Or instead of writing this, we can just simply write 5 to the -3. Okay, same kind of thing. Okay, what I would like you to do is get a practice on using some of those exponent rules and in your Math 9 textbook. Okay, see you in the next video.